CitrusTV News. Students gave feedback on 2 parts of the campus framework.
And today is the last day to register to vote in New York State.
Plus, President Obama spoke in Cleveland. CitrusTV News starts right now.
From the CitrusTV studios, this is CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to CitrusTV News. I'm Johnny Oliver.
And I'm Brooke Glatz. The university held more campus framework forums today, and that's our top story tonight.
Two engagement sessions were held today to get feedback on the campus framework. CitrusTV reporter Brendan Tierney was at the sessions and has what new information was presented.
In the same ways that it's important to have accessibility for someone who might be in a wheelchair, right? It's also important to have accessibility for someone who doesn't identify in the gender binary and wants to safely use a bathroom.
Syracuse University has unveiled a plan to replace bathroom signs with new gender-neutral versions. These new signs will be implemented in time for the spring 2017. Friday's campus framework session introduced many designs that are currently used at colleges around the country. These will be narrowed down to 3 final options that will be voted on in November.
You could see one example in there where it seemed like you needed a written description. You'd stand there for quite a while reading to try to understand what it's conveying. And then you see kind of the Cooper Union example, which is kind of a mix. It uses a little bit of text, a little bit of pictograms.
Thousands of these bathroom signs aren't the only things that may be disappearing from campus. The Framework Committee also presented plans for new permanent seating along the promenade.
Back in the spring, it was all just kind of an idea, and I think now people can really see what it's like to be in that space, to want to hang out in that space, and maybe you can better speak to, students can weigh in on better what they would like to see there.
Teak benches such as these are one of the 4 options that will be presented to students in a survey in the coming weeks. Students can choose to keep these benches or go with one of 3 other options to be placed along the promenade permanently. Included in the 4 options is a wooden lounge bubble bench, a high-low bench table combination, and the granite parklet bench with wooden backs.
We know people are going to be eating and working and studying on the promenade, and so, the walk. So we wanted to accommodate that.
All options include outlets for device charging and will be installed for next spring. Brendan Tierney, CitrusTV News.
Every touchdown the Syracuse football team scores will have a little extra meaning this Saturday. The team is holding a touchdown pledge during the game against Virginia Tech. People can go online and make a pledge before the game, and every time the team scores a touchdown, those who pledged will be required to donate. The event is run through the Syracuse chapter of Uplifting Athletics. And the chemistry department received a grant which will help to increase graduate student diversity. The award is from the U.S. Department of Education and hopes to increase diversity in chemistry and SU, but also in the field as a whole. This is the second grant the department has been awarded, and the chemistry department hopes to see a 25% increase with the new grant.
This year's Tully Free Speech Award winner is now public. The award will go to Jason Rezine, a Washington Post reporter who was held in prison in Iran for 544 days. Each year, the Newhouse School gives the award to a journalist who has faced free speech obstacles. Rezine will receive the award during a ceremony on October 24th in the Hurd Auditorium in Newhouse. And Syracuse Athletics has announced the honorees for the 52nd annual letter winner of distinction celebration. The university will honor 5 former athletes and a former team doctor at the event on November 10th. The event will be held in Shine Student Center, and tickets can be purchased for $100 through Cuse.com.
And Syracuse graduate Rachel Vassell is coming back as the new Assistant Vice President of Program Development. Vassell will oversee alumni advancement team that focuses on African American and Latino alumni. She will be working with multiple offices across campus, including the Office of Multicultural Affairs and the Office of Program Development. Her role will hopefully build the alumni participation and work growing scholarships for students of color. And the former Pennsylvania mayor spoke in Maxwell today. Michael Nutter's speech was part of the Tanner Lecture Series. He spoke about his values and the Athenian Oath, as well as the state of political leadership in America.
Today is the last day for New Yorkers to register to vote in the upcoming general election. Students can sign up online or check their registration through iwillvote.com or through the DMV electronic voter registration. New York Public Interest Research Group is also registering students at tables throughout campus, such as Shine and some dining halls. And Destiny USA is celebrating its 26th anniversary tomorrow. Formerly known as the Carousel Center, the mall opened on October 15th in 1990. To celebrate, the mall will have complimentary carousel rides, a photo booth, and free valet parking for anyone with the same birth date. The mall will also play music that was popular in 1990 when the mall opened. Coming up, how states are recovering a week after Hurricane Matthew.
And the White House lightens regulations regarding Cuba.
Here in Syracuse, New York, and we have more sunshine coming our way this weekend, but also thunderstorms. Find out what you can expect by watching my full weather forecast coming up.
Not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text Barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
President Obama says all of America's progress under his administration will go out the window if Donald Trump wins the presidential election. Obama condemns Trump's lewd remarks about women, minorities, and other groups.
He says that any decent human knows that Trump's comments about how he treats women are not right. Obama held a rally today for Hillary Clinton in Cleveland, where he was urging Ohio Democrats to cast their votes now.
More freedom on American imports from Cuba will begin on Monday. Formerly, special limits were placed on items like alcohol and tobacco. This move also clears the way for pharmaceuticals from Cuba to gain U.S. approval.
According to the Obama administration, the move works to improve relations between the United States and Cuba. In addition to adjustments on imports, there is a focus on encouraging medical and scientific advancements.
Hurricane Matthew may not be considered a hurricane anymore, but areas like North Carolina are still suffering from its effects. For the second time this week, the town of Kinston, North Carolina is consumed by floodwater.
The flooding has swamped, left hundreds of thousands of people in the dark, and displaced hundreds of people who are now living in shelters. 3 homes in Kinston are in the flood zone at this time. More than 30 people have been killed in the U.S., 22 now in North Carolina.
A federal judge in Georgia is considering an emergency request to extend the voter registration deadline in Georgia due to thousands being evacuated.
The deadline to register in Georgia was this Tuesday, and deadlines have also been extended in Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina already.
And there was a new Zika zone announced in Florida this week. It is a 1 square mile area where the Zika virus is actively infecting people. The CDC warns pregnant women to stay out of the Zika zone neighborhood if possible.
This is the 3rd outbreak in Miami, and Florida remains the only U.S. state with verified local transmission of the virus. Florida has more than 1,000 verified cases, most of them coming from travelers.
And United Airlines is back on its feet after resolving a problem that caused nationwide flight delays last night. According to a United Airlines statement, there was an issue with its weight reporting system.
But that problem has now been fixed, and the company says it is working to get all passengers affected by the flight delays to their destinations as soon as possible.
21 Chibok schoolgirls were released in Nigeria this week after being held for 2 years. But conflicting information is emerging about what the Nigerian government gave Boko Haram in exchange for the release.
One source says that several Boko Haram commanders were freed as part of a negotiation, but this contrasts with the Nigerian government's statement that the girls' release was not a prisoner exchange. The 21 schoolgirls released were among the 276 girls Boko Haram militants kidnapped from a boarding school in Nigeria about 2 years ago.
A funeral procession made its way through Bangkok today as a final farewell for the late Thailand King Bhumipol. The king died at age 88 after serving 70 years on the throne. He was the world's longest reigning monarch.
According to the Royal Household Bureau, the king passed away peacefully yesterday in the hospital. His body has been transported to the Grand Palace where the funeral rites will be carried out.
Well, Brooke, it was pretty chilly today, but the sun was out.
Rebecca Castor is here with what we can expect for this weekend. Rebecca?
Thanks, Johnny and Brooke. Yes, we definitely felt those cooler fall temperatures today, but the sunshine made it feel just a little bit warmer. Currently, it is 54 degrees with sunny skies, but we will see an increase in temperatures later this week. Taking a look at current temperatures across upstate New York, we'll see that most cities are hitting in the mid-50s, low 50s. Down here, Almere is at 59, but Ithaca, Cortland are at 52 degrees. Taking a look at our current surface map, we'll see we're being affected by this high pressure system, and that's going to bring in dry weather for tomorrow, which is great for game day. Weather's going to be really nice tomorrow as Syracuse plays Virginia Tech in the Carrier Dome. We have a high of 68 degrees with sunny skies, no chance of rain. At kickoff, it's going to be about 66 degrees, and hopefully we'll have a win for the Orange. Sunday is the day you're going to have to worry about some showers, though. Sunday night, we have an 80% chance of thunderstorms coming in. And Sunday, we also have a high of 75 degrees, which is unusually warm for Syracuse in October, but we'll take it. If you have allergies that are affected by fall temperatures, today was a good day for you as we had a low pollen count. The pollen count will continue to stay low through the rest of the weekend and into next week, so you don't have to worry so much about your allergy medication. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, we will see those higher temperatures continuing into the week. Saturday, we have a high of 68 degrees with sunny skies. Sunday is when those thunderstorms are going to come in with a high of 75 degrees. Monday, we're going to stay at 72 degrees with a 20% chance of showers. Tuesday, 76 degrees with 40% chance of rain. And Wednesday, we'll have a slight decrease back to some fall temperatures with a high of 68 degrees and sunny skies.
All right, Rebecca, so I'm so excited for this home football game like I know the rest of campus is, but with the temperatures going up and down, what should I wear tomorrow?
I know, definitely, it's confusing to decide what to wear to football games, and we're having fall temperatures, summer temperatures still. Tomorrow morning, if you're going to head out to the game early, it's going to be cool in the morning, so you're going to want to have that jacket, but if you're planning on going later in the afternoon, it's going to be warm, the sun's going to be out, so you may not even need a jacket by the time the game starts.
Brooke, so no jacket Rebecca, no jacket by the time the game starts. What about an umbrella? Is it going to be raining as I make the walk over to the Dome tomorrow?
No, definitely, you don't have to worry about rain at all. Those showers will hold off until Sunday.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Up next, the results from the conjoined twins after hours of surgery.
And losses for Samsung continue to unfold. Citrus TV News will be right back.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Got a quarter?
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Don't think you know. Know you know.
An article from Outside Magazine went viral as an obituary for the Great Barrier Reef. The article states that the Great Barrier Reef is dead and has served to cause confusion, but the article did bring attention to the estimated 22% of the reef that was killed by coral bleaching. Coral scientists clarify that the reef is not dead, but just in need of saving. And Britain's High Court has rejected a lawsuit against Goldman Sachs brought on by Libya's sovereign wealth fund. The investment bank was accused of taking advantage of the Libyan fund's inexperience to make risky deals. The lawyers from the Libyan fund claim losses of $1.2 billion. Today, a judge dismissed the claim that the trades were because of undue influence by Goldman Sachs. And New Jersey gas is going to get a raise in prices. Governor Chris Christie signed legislation today to raise the state's gas tax by 23 cents. The increase will help to pay for transportation projects. This is the first time since 1998 that New Jersey's gas tax is being raised. The state will now have the 6th highest gas tax in the nation, but will still remain lower than New York State.
Twin boys conjoined to the head were successfully separated today. The 13-month-olds were in surgery for nearly 27 hours at the Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx. The rare surgery was performed by more than 20 medical professionals, and officials say the next few months will be critical for recovery. Samsung expects to lose $3 billion in profit. This comes after its decision to stop production of the Galaxy Note 7 smartphone. 2.5 million Note 7 phones have been recalled since September due to overheating batteries that caused even the replacement devices to catch on fire. And speaking of Samsung, the U.S. Department of Transportation is issuing an order banning Galaxy Note 7 smartphones on airplanes. The order will go into effect Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. The order states that the phone may not be carried on board, packed into checked bags, or shipped as air cargo in fear of the phones catching on fire during flight. The department states that passengers who try to bring the phones onto planes will have their devices confiscated and may also face fines.
Amazon.com is hiring 120,000 workers for the holiday season. The seasonal employees will be in 27 states as fulfillment and sorting centers. After last year's holiday, the company has made 14,000 seasonal positions into full-time jobs, and they expect to exceed that this year. Amazon's fourth quarter profit more than doubled in 2015 due to online shopping during the holidays. And Wells Fargo announced a 2.6% drop in profit in the third quarter. This comes after the bank opened around 2 million fake accounts. The bank agreed to $185 million settlement for those actions. CEO John Stumpf was replaced on Wednesday, but will receive $130 million in compensation.
And coming up in sports, SU football is back on the hill, and can men's soccer get back to its winning ways? All that and more after the break.
Got a quarter?
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hi, I'm Marco Sochi. SU football is back on the Hill this weekend after 3 straight games away from the Carrier Dome. The Orange takes on number 17 Virginia Tech tomorrow at 3:45 in search of its 3rd win of the season. SU currently sits at 2-4 after dropping its last couple games to Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Through 6 games, the Orange have struggled on both sides of the ball. Defensively, SU gives up 36 points per game, and on the offensive end, they've received just 1 rushing touchdown from starting running back Dante Strickland. Head coach Dino Baber shares his thoughts on the Orange as it begins the second half of its season.
I think we're still growing. Obviously, there's been some shortcomings. There's been some fantastic things that have gone on, probably things that have surprised a lot of people in this room. It happens. It happens with maturity. It happens with growth. The toughest thing that's been going on so far this year is just to have the massive turnover in personnel, and then to have to constantly reteach or go back to a certain level as the weakest link in your chain to start growing again, start building again on that foundation so that you can start doing more exotic things, offensively and defensively.
The Orange face a tough task as they try to rebuild. The Hokies come into this one at 4-1 on the season and boast a defense that ranks 10th in the country in points allowed. Elsewhere on the Hill, it's the same matchup but a different sport. The number 10 SU men's soccer team hosts 15th ranked Virginia Tech tonight. The Orange is looking for a rebound win against the Hokies. Syracuse hasn't won since September 20th against Cornell. In that time, SU is 0-3-1. One of the big reasons why, a struggling offense. In those 4 games, SU has been able to muster just 2 goals. Tonight's game gets underway at 7 o'clock at SU Soccer Stadium. Number 2, Syracuse field hockey closes out conference play tomorrow with a matchup against Virginia in Charlottesville. The Orange is 4-1 in conference play and 12-1 overall on the season. After tomorrow's game, SU has 2 more regular season games before heading to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the ACC tournament on November 3rd. Well, it's not quite time for lacrosse in Syracuse just yet, but 5 former SU women's lax players made the U.S. World Cup training team. Attackers Alyssa Murray, Kayla Traynor, and Michelle Tumalo, defender Becca Block, and goalie Liz Hogan are part of the team of 25 that will compete to make the roster of 18 players that will represent the U.S. in next year's FIL Women's World Cup in England. The U.S. is looking for its 3rd consecutive title. SU volleyball hits the road to take on Clemson tonight. The Orange is just 4-12 on the year, but has won 2 of its last 3. Syracuse looks to continue their hot streak against the Tigers team they beat twice last season. Tonight's start is set for 7 p.m. Women's ice hockey is on the road for the first time this season as the team heads to Boston to take on Northeastern. The Orange is still looking for its first win on the season after starting the year with 2 losses to Bemidji State last weekend. SU was the preseason pick to win the CHA conference title. Sticking with hockey, the Crunch opens its season tomorrow at the War Memorial against Rochester. Syracuse was just 3-7 against the Americans last year. Both teams are coming off seasons in which they failed to make the Calder Cup playoffs.
Marco, a ranked Virginia Tech team comes into the Dome tomorrow in men's football, and they're coming off a good win against North Carolina. Do you think Syracuse can pull off an upset?
Look, it's going to be really tough. Again, you mentioned they're ranked. They're 17th in the country, and their defense has been absolutely phenomenal. They're top 10 in nearly every category, and then you look at a quarterback in Gerard Evans, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in this conference. 15 touchdowns, just 1 interception.
Going to be tough.
All right, so Marco, I'm a big hockey fan, and as you said earlier, the Crunch has their home opener. How do you think the team's going to do this season?
It's going to be a little rough for the Crunch. They were very good 2 years ago. Last year they struggled a little bit, and I see those struggles continuing. A lot of their good young guys went up to the NHL, to their parent team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, so they're still in kind of a rebuilding mode.
And back on the hill, men's soccer tonight. That's a big game for the Orange. Do you think they can beat the Hokies tonight, too?
Well, they certainly can. They have the talent. They were ranked #1 in the country for a while this season. They're just kind of in a rut right now. Again, the last 4 games, 3 losses and 1 draw, 0 wins. That's unheard of kind of for this Syracuse soccer team in the last few years. So I think they can definitely win, and they'll need to kind of get out of this rut.
Definitely a rough patch. Thanks,
Yes.
Marco. Well, we'll be right back with one last look at your weather.
Stay with us.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
So, Rebecca, what kind of weather can we expect when we wake up tomorrow?
Well, if you're an early riser, about 8 a.m., it's going to be pretty chilly, going to be about 39 degrees, so definitely cold. But if you're more of a later riser, it's going to warm up during the morning, so it's going to be about 50 degrees, going to hit 60 in the afternoon.
Perfect.
Rebecca, earlier in the show you mentioned that we're seeing 70 degrees on Monday. Why are we seeing such high temperatures in October in Syracuse?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. We're still getting the effects of the El Nino year we've been having, which is why we had a warmer winter last year, and it's still causing us to have these warmer temperatures. El Ninos are weird, you never know what's going to happen, but hopefully we'll have those cooler temperatures stick around soon.
Perfect. And really quick, when are we going to start seeing snow this year?
Well, I'm predicting it's going to be about late December. The El Nino is also going to cause us to have a warmer winter in the beginning, but then it's going to switch, and I'm thinking it's going to be a cold one.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
hopefully
Rebecca.
it'll come later.
Well, that's all for Citrus TV News this evening.
Check us out online at CitrusTV.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CitrusTV News.
I'm Johnny Oliver.
And I'm Brooke Glatz. Have a great night, Syracuse.